about a month ago, I did the top 10 notes on revision, and it was wildly popular. Two people specifically said they liked it, and one person specifically said, "Were you trying to be funny?" No, I mean, some serious stuff there. So anyway, back by popular demand, we've got the top 10, and this time it's even better because it's only 7. So this is about cover letters. I'm not an expert in cover letters. I'm okay at writing. And so if you got something better, if you got an aunt who's like super cover letter person, you can turn this off and your summary can be a lot of cool stuff about cover letters that she told you. Probably be able to tell me some stuff. Wouldn't mind if you did. I'll be needing to write one pretty soon. The way I approach it is just like any other writing. In fact, you'll notice if you continue watching, or if you haven't shut it off yet, that a lot of the things I'll talk about are the same that we talked about with other assignments. So anyway, I guess you're still watching. So let's get to some stuff. And we'll start with number 1. Duh. First one is beware of ready-mades. Can you see that? Probably not, huh? Beware of ready-mades. What are ready-mades? You know, you go to like coverletter.com or something, and they've got a bunch of cover letters, like killer cover letter, this will get you a job stuff. Here, let me move you a little forward. Well, those are like usually pretty generic, and to me, that's the number one thing you want to avoid is something generic. If it's a good job, 30, 40 people are applying, you want to be custom fit for that. And so try not to do ready-mades. Which brings us to number 2. Dun, 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 dun. Have a unique approach. I heard a horror story about somebody who was looking through cover letters and found almost the exact same one from coverletter.com or something. And of course those got thrown away immediately. So you want something unique. And what I mean by unique is custom made for that job, right? You need to project what kind of person you are. And we talked about emails you were sending to your professors, and I tried to emphasize that think about when the professor reads it. What kind of person will they think you are? And that's what you need to think about here. What kind of person do you want to project? What kind of persona do you think is important for this job? So you have to decide that, which is a little bit difficult, but that's what we're going to do right now. So never fear. We're going to start with our friend, your friend and mine, audience awareness. Have to know your audience. And I'm talking about in general. So if you're talking about a company, you need to know something about the company. You need to look at their website, think about them. It would be really nice to know who you're actually writing the letter to. It always works better if you write a person's name on it. And I've actually called up places and said, I'm applying for a job, can you tell me the name of the person who I will write this letter to? And most of the time, they think that's cool, because you're taking some extra time and you're actually asking for that person. When that person sees their name on it with their title, and be sure to get that right, because usually they're pretty picky about that. Even like their phone number or their contact information, then they know that you've done some extra work and you're actually somebody who works hard and somebody who cares about the job. So a little bit of audience awareness goes a long way, which of course is what we've talked about with other papers too, right? Know your audience. So the next one is, how do you know your audience? Well, you've got to do some investigating. So the next one is investigate. Now, always start with the internet. That's the easiest, or the job application, I guess. Look and see if you can find things like mission statements for a company. If it's government, most of the time you can find a mission statement. Goals, company goals, president address of the company. I know people that actually find mission statements, goals for the company, and copy parts of those, or actually refer to them. Your mission statement says you want to serve people and help everybody, and that's exactly what I want to do, right? So investigation can go a long ways. After you investigate, then you need to develop a angle. Get an angle. What I mean by angle, we've talked about this before with other kinds of writing. What's your approach going to be? And basically, with a cover letter, what you want to think about is, what do you have that fits with this company? What do you have that makes you great for the job? And it could be something that's directly related to their goals or their mission statement. For example, if their mission statement is to help everybody, you could say, I was a real helpful person. And then you've got to think of some way to relate that specifically to your life. Now you might think, you know what, I've never done any charity work, and actually I don't really help people. But if you were a babysitter for a while, you might say, I really loved helping children. If you mowed lawns, you might say, I really loved helping people mow their lawn. I don't know. You've got to find an angle. It doesn't have to be exact fit. Think of the jobs you've done and think of the parts of those jobs that match the company. If someone was looking for someone responsible, I mowed lawns and I had to keep a schedule and I had to mow lawns every week. Very consistent. Even people that didn't live, they were gone for the summer. I had to go there and mow their lawn anyway, so I was very responsible. I was a responsible babysitter. I was a responsible cashier. Pick out aspects of your job that you can fit there. Okay? So get an angle. And this goes back to that persona you're trying to project. I'm a really responsible, creative, whatever kind of person you think fits with this particular job at this particular company. Thus back to the unique approach, right? So if you got your angle, you also need to give some proof of that angle. What I mean by proof is, it's really cool if you can say, I was a babysitter and I babysat these 2 kids for a summer, and here's the mother's phone number or email, contact, right? A lot of times they'll just pick up the phone and call. If they're serious about hiring you and they don't want to take chances, those phone calls can be important. Try to get people with a different last name than you do, not necessarily your mother or sister, unless maybe your sister's taken her husband's name, and then it might work. So include some contact information. It doesn't always ask for that, but I think it's a great thing to put in there. Let's see. Next one. I like this one. Keep it simple. Be very careful of novelties and like special paper, maybe throwing in a video. Be careful of those things. The people doing applicants, they do a lot of them, and they can find that stuff annoying. And like a video, I've heard my chair, our program say, she just throws them in the garbage if she gets a DVD, or deletes it if it's an attachment. They don't have time. In fact, I've heard people say that they can look at an application and decide within 10 seconds whether they're going to hire you or not. They look for what's there, and they look for special words, and they look for a knowledge of the field. In this case, remember back to the unique approach in audience awareness. You're going to demonstrate to them that you know their genre. Remember genre? You're in the club. You speak the speak. Does that work? Speak the speak. You talk the talk. And they'll recognize that right away. Okay? Next one. Check it at least 3 times. Same with revision, right? And again, the same things with revision. you really don't want to send off a cover letter that's got mistakes in it. That's embarrassing. In fact, somebody told me once they got a cover letter and everything looked great. At the very end, they said, "Thank you. I really look forward to going to," and they put the wrong company name. And it was obvious they'd sent out about 20 of those and just kind of changed the company name at the end. Very embarrassing. I don't think they got the job. So check it 3 times. Remember some of the tricks we talked about? I think the most important one is put it down, put it away for a couple of days, a week if you can. Then when you pick it up, you can read it like the audience would in that fresh new perspective. Print it in a different font, read it out loud, have a friend read it to you, read it by yourself in the bathroom while looking in the mirror. These are weird, but they actually do work. At least read it 3 times. First time you check for overall form, second time you check for mistakes, and third time you check for new mistakes. So, mercifully short, only 11 minutes so far. I'll try to cut off here. If you didn't like my ideas, that's fine. You can include some of your own. But if you wanted a good, easy 10 points on your summary, I'd say we'll try to get 5 of these. Seems reasonable. What do you think? Okay.